It only needs to go up. It never goes back down. Okay, that's all right. Well, you should probably are in the loop, but the family went nuts and rescued the second dog.
What?
Friday.
What kind of dogs do you have? What's this?
Up and down. Well, we rescued a couple days before Christmas a Basenji from Texas. And then this is a little terrier, possibly Chihuahua mix, little boy that we rescued Friday. It took us 4 weeks to get our first dog and all kinds of application nightmare. It took us 5 hours to get this. Okay.
It's like when you show me wait till the next call comes.
Oh yeah, no, it happened real quick.
Yeah.
It happened real quick. Let's go risks.
Well, congratulations. Yes. How are they getting along?
Yeah. Yeah. 9 to 10 months old. He's 9 weeks old.
Oh.
And she played really well with him, even though it was big size. He's a feisty little bugger. He wants to wrestle her. But she's definitely also jealous of her. So, like, if I hold him, she'll ignore me for a good half hour. She'll that's yeah, she's totally balanced. And the second I put him down, she'll feel like she'll let some more time go by switch directions, and then she'll saunter over and be like, would you like to pay some attention to me?
Yeah.
So,
I might let you.
I try to give her all the attention
I
anyway.
think so.
She's mine. He's more for Lori and the boys. But Maka is now sitting and laying down and staying, and we have our leash manners. We switched harness, and her leash manners are way improved. So she's doing really, really well.
So how did you get this one? What was
The first or second?
the second?
So, you know, when we filled out so many applications for so many different organizations pre-Christmas, because it's like a thing
To get the
to
first,
rescue a dog
Yeah.
before Christmas,
Yeah.
which we didn't make sense. I
right,
didn't know that.
especially this year.
So once you have an application in, it doesn't have to be for just the dog you applied for. And then all these organizations have their own Facebook pages. But you follow them, and then who goes in and unfollows? So my feed and my wife's feed are constantly filled with puppies, or this dog rescue, or that dog rescue,
Yeah.
over under. And so it popped up Friday morning, I saw him. And I almost sent it away, but I'm like, oh no. But an hour later, Lori sent it to me. Look at this little guy.
But that day that they have brought Maka up to our neighborhood,
Yeah.
Lori's walking away and Maka's just taking, and she's like, yeah. She was in charge and Lori was flying.
Oh yeah, Maka is a puller and a leader for sure. Yeah, Lori, they go, you don't want a small dog though. And I was like, it's not for me. Okay. Roll your shoulder up and over. Did we do an application with them? I said, I think so. So she checked, and I think it was in class when I got the text message from the organization going, hi Todd, this is Bobby from Casa Dogs. How are you today? I'm like, well, hi Bobby, I'm great. I just want to let you know your application was approved. Okay, that's awesome, but what does that mean? You can adopt a dog. Okay, well my wife was looking at the time his name is Toby, switch arms. She said, oh yeah, Toby's great. Okay, can we meet her? Yeah. Lost mom contact you. Lost mom contacted me in an hour. I said, can we come back? Yeah. I said, what happens if we fall in love? We just take him home. And she goes, and you will, because he's adorable. So it was just Lori and I and Maka. We took our dog with big circles and met them in Renton. And Maka was fine. I mean, not love, but fine on it.
She wasn't.
Yeah, we were just more worried she'd be aggressive. She wasn't. So we took him home. That was ours.
You know, and it took so long to even get approved before Christmas or to even get a response.
A response. Yeah. They wouldn't even get back to you. Switch directions. But the more you talk to them, they'll get like hundreds of applications for one dog.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there's like one volunteer. We do all those. And then decide
Who's 21 years old?
Yeah, and then decide who gets who's first back.
Who's 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them were even that.
Finally reading down, you know.
Yeah.
I've got small circles.
No big words.
Well, it's funny that volunteer that I worked for the state Maka. I sent her a picture of Maka with Cooper,
Uh-huh.
and she's like, "Oh, that's sweet. And how is Toppy doing?" I've already told her we changed the name, and she can't even remember in the text that we changed the name. Switch direction.
And it was Toffee.
Tiffany Toffee was our dog's original.
Sounds like a stripper.
Tiffany Toffee and Toby. We put tape, shoulders over hips. So now it's Maka and Cooper.
That's cute.
How do you spell?
M-A-K-A. We named it after the Japanese name, which means love and flower. But I just recently found out there's a Native American Maka in the Sioux tribe that stands for Earth as well. So some people may want to take which Maka it was. It's just close. Wow. But they're a lot of fun.
So you've gone from 0 to 2 in
If
a
you
month.
yeah, 3 weeks. And instructions?
Were you dog people before?
We were, but 5 years ago, we had a couple dogs and a cat, and we lost them all in the same year. 2 were 19, and 1 had a medical condition. And so the kids were so young, and it really bothered my daughter at the time. We said just not that pets for a while. But then with COVID and quarantine, Lori felt the dog was good for the boy, the kids had a home and everything.
Yeah.
How old are your boys?
16 and 14, almost 15. My 14, 15.
Well, on a dog.
They're so good. He can talk. Maka had to lay down already.
No.
Yeah, he's doing really good. Let's jump on and get started. Doesn't matter what you jump on and start with first. There's one for everybody, and we'll be rotating anyways. We'll get that warm up round, then we'll go over core and really mean exercises today.
Because you were so easy, honestly.
Well, it's okay. Wayne's beautiful bride said to up my dumbbells on me today when I was doing gentle. I'm like, oh, I feel these, especially because my shoulders are really sore from yesterday. So she bought some out, and she bought a bigger pair than it's ever brought out. I said, could you bring those for me? And she goes, well, then I will use them, thank you. And I immediately was like, oh. And she blamed it on, I thought those were the ones I didn't have my glasses on. They're a completely different color, man. That thing doesn't count. It does not count. Yeah, I know you can see the color. So, this is strictly core and cardio. This is a warm-up round. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but our rounds are going to be 5 minutes long. Then we're on our cardio machine. So, pace, don't overdo, and we'll always rotate. You're not going to stay moving around and stuff like that. And then we'll be doing 3-minute rounds of core exercises. And when we're done with our warm-up round, just 5-3 break. We'll actually do 3-5, but you can start with 4. Go to cardio, then take a break. Break's about 75 seconds. I'm going to show you the recorded exercises. And you rotate through the scores how many times you can get. Usually about 6. Rick told me she couldn't get in to get hers, though. Rick goes in, not you, but just Rick tomorrow for the shot?
Yeah, Rick goes tomorrow. And I go really February. Rick goes today.
Yay! Are you going Friday? That's awesome, guys. I'm really excited about that. Yeah. More people out here getting in.
But 45
seconds. Well, Lynn said the only opening was for Canberra.
Yeah. I think when they got up, 35
It comes in too late.
7:30. Right.
Could I go to get in somewhere? Could I get in?
That's a phone call for broadcast.
I signed up for you. I haven't done anything. That's your fashion. Yes, but I'm going to St. Elizabeth and Hancock.
Yeah.
That's the public, they live in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the morning, my feeling is that we have to have money.
Nice.
Time.
Hell, I could have gone anytime.
We're gonna come to the middle and I'm gonna show you what your
Yeah.
core exercises are gonna be, and then we'll start our core exercises after I.
Wait a couple days.
Can't do it today, I need to have a class. You know, have on priorities, Tracy.
Right.
Well, I made it myself today, I have a class.
What? Why?
I'm going to coma.
My next shot is the 19th, which is a Friday, but I'll do it at 9:30, so I'll be here.
February 19th?
Yeah, I can't.
See, that's
Isn't that like
you sign up for both?
30 days, Moderna.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I said I'd make my appointment after.
Okay, guys.
Places that almost went.
So we're out wide on our first core exercise. This is our elbow to knee one. So we want to stay down in the squat, and we then bring ourselves elbow to knee on this one. And you're focused on staying in the front and crunching that way. And so the number is 10, and it's 10 and however you want to do 10. So you could go left, right, 1, or you can go 1, 2 to 10, because you're going to get through it again anyway. So it's however you want to feel your burn on that. As soon as we're done with that, we're going to go down on the ground, and we're going to take top leg behind, bottom arm on our core, top arm on our head, and we're going to lift knee to elbow this way, and then we'll flip over and do the same thing. So you just flip, just remember top leg is up, and top arm is up, bottom arm is supporting here. If this is tough to bring, we'll just work this. And just work this crunch here. If you're having trouble with either coordination or the strength of that one. From there, we do our hollow for 10. And then from there, we do our hip roll. So remember, from plank, we go to the side. Bring our hip low. It does not have to. Touching is fun, but it doesn't have to touch. Don't overstretch your back and cause any pain. If it hurts, you can just move in a smaller range of motion here. Or just do plank. Questions? You guys ready? And then call it out. I'll call it out again. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But go.
I guess it doesn't matter where you're doing.
No, but I didn't see anybody said it does.
Yeah. The way you have to
Feet
call
down.
is
Oh, just
Just take
don't
your
let
upper
that
body
be-
down to the knees. Yeah, try not to go up and down the leg. Try to stay in that squat.
Yeah.
Bring yourself to the knee. If anything does your back, just let me know and give you an alternate. And when we go to cardio, we're going to go clockwise today. Wrong elbow. Make sure you pay attention. Stay away. Appreciate it. On your side. Yes. Now from that elbow to that knee. Yeah. That way. You know, Sandy's there, right? Good.
I had it right on.
Lay down, Sandy. And then do it.
Okay.
There you go. So pause, buzzy, punches, you just think over some. I know you can burn your stomach. So you can save the rub.
What are you doing?
Have the hollow.
Oh.
And then exhale. Use a hip roll bucket. Use a hip roll bucket. Probably a little. You can like shoulder touch. You can do the back.
Couldn't take very long.
Lynn warmed up way before me, so she was like, "Dang, Lynn." It's just easy. Lower and then.
Then we just do the same thing.
Yeah, but you only got 5 seconds. Time, guys. And then we'll go block squats, Kevin. So you're to the bike. This
Here?
Yeah. Starting in 3, 2, go. See, next 5. Yes. Oh, nervous dad today. My mom contacted Keith and asked if we could drive up, pick her a speaker that we would have. So that's Peyton less than 10 solo drive.
Yeah.
This is like the beginning, so she lives up in Edgewood. And then she's part of my and then we have testing schedule way. But
Yeah.
we'll be away. Jamie's always going.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And so he has to ask them, I don't want to pay attention to that.
Right.
I'm a little, I feel like it when I do, but I feel like
It's just a nice day. It's good to have a big spray and
but he's just getting off because the school guy said 30 minutes from me. He's going to have lunch traffic on 167. Got fun tap? Got fun tap?
pretty interesting.
Good.
I think better when I can keep in front of me. You can call over. Stay with the safety man.
No, Mary, that's good. Oh, yeah, I know exactly. She used to, and she stopped. Like the last 2 classes she had, I mean, I'm always out when she does class, so I don't know why she stopped doing. She would teach a little bit, do the routine, and then she would have you guys do it to music, so I don't know why. She was really loud. She's everything that I think she's there. I was just like, check the fitness is listening. All of that. And it's just like, she's very instructive today. Great.
Yeah, no, that's a lot.
Oh, we've been like 7 minutes time. It was time. It was almost maybe 4 weeks ago. She started talking. She had like 2% away from time, and then after that, it was just Pauline. We were doing the last couple of weeks together. So that was okay. I want people's classes do well. I want to do some moving up on stuff. Then, dance instructors tend to demand more. But that doesn't mean those are the ones. Even though if you went to speak with, you realize that dance instructors have been much more. You know, they made it a career, it's not a part. Other best teachers are doing their part-time. You know, they bounce here and there, they do their thing, they do their dancing on and sometimes they do. instructors are usually a little more free. So I know a few times we had successful dance classes, but they've been more expensive and people want to like, so they've been dance series instead of like a long lap. And some would, for sure. But they still need like that minimum right there. Last night, the dance just needs to be and want your value.
And where did you go?
It was like multi-care family, right by the hospital.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
To a snick, they had like,
That's kind of weird. If you can talk that much prominent road hard enough area, what?
well,
I'm kidding. Tell your
let
story.
me see if I can change it. Oh,
You wanted shoulder sympathy, so I thought.
it's like, yeah, so good.
Were there many people there?
No, it's just that I got there, the appointments were 15 minutes apart.
Yeah.
When I got there were 4 people in the waiting room. Well, they took right. We had one in before me and me.
No.
So by 5 o'clock,
What is that?
I had this call.
And where was this?
Multi-care families at the hospital.
At the Fair Good, that's the first one.
Yeah.
That's my former care about. Just enough to wait like 15 minutes after the
After the shot, we sat in the room with the gal with the timer.
All right.
Down here.
Alright guys, it's a water break. Make sure you lay down your machine for the next round. Take that breather. Good job. That's sort of nice. Good job. Your mandibular muscles. You two know each other together, but your husbands know each other forever.
They're getting close to forever, but
No,
yeah.
no, I mean you guys have been, but I
Why
mean,
not? So we
Yeah,
know
worked
each
out
other
great.
forever,
right.
and then Rick came shortly
And I went on the website this morning.
after that, and then
It
Randy
said,
came.
schedule
later.
for
Yeah,
your
you're friends.
We had to go, we had to go out.
Have a date,
Randy had a class
19th
of
of February.
And we were in
Still have been.
They
trial.
said there was
He's still
about
kind of on
6 or
those
7 times.
convention.
We
But
had.
you know
what?
I do.
You can understand that.
No.
I can see why you can push the exactly my card is mine.
They said you do for the second, same place, pick a time.
Oh, great. It must be our kid when we get to like
30 days.
30 days.
Yeah.
So that's why I was
My
like,
best
yesterday,
friend
and
is
February.
ninth grade.
That's what I read.
Just
I
like
get it
that.
through Franciscan. It's
With the
like, okay, here, but they
He's
say
the
you'll make your appointment for your second
I
child.
don't do that. I got
Ask for your first child.
It's a big deal. When you've got
She should call my card tomorrow morning and
big
it'll be waiting for you.
and
So
somebody
great.
takes it.
Yeah.
Make it simple.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Core round number 2. Go. You'd have to do this too. I'll add those in next week. Get you prepared.
For the big stuff. So I think we're in for 3 of 3.
You love it. It's so good. I just finished another one called It's a One class that I thought was excellent as well. Then I watched a couple movies that were highly rated, but I didn't think they were.
Which ones?
So I told you I'm on this huge Korean kick, right? So they were, one was called The Witch, and it wasn't really a witch, that was just the nickname of the character. And then the other one was called The Call.
The last one was what?
The Call.
Oh,
It was a kind of suspenseful, scary one where it was fantastical in the fact that this girl was in this home and she had this phone that rang and she'd pick it up and it was a girl from 20 years previous in the house. But that girl's not a good person. But then she started affecting the future by doing bad things to the girl in the present time. And it had what you thought was a cool ending, it turned into not a cool. So I don't like those movies.
I like good endings.
So basically the girl figured out how to stop the girl, right? And you're like, yes, mildly happy ending still happened. But then there was a tweak at the very end and the bad person wasn't gone and then all of a sudden the girl's mom disappeared at the very end of the show as it got altered again and I was like, that was horrible. You know, it's like the end of Seven. I get it. It pushes all the buttons, you know, Brad Pitt's going, what's in the box? What's in the box? And then you realize the bad guy wins at the end of that movie, and I walked out of that theater so angry. So very angry. I'm okay with bad stuff happening in the movie, but it needs to have, like, a happy ending closure. Or it's hard.
Closure, it doesn't have to be happy.
Yeah, time over.
I like happy.
I like happy. You know, doesn't matter if it's an action movie or love story stuff. I want the hero needs to win. In Todd's book.
Are you a book reader?
I am a book reader. These days with so much going on, but I do enjoy books. Time, guys. Counterclockwise rotation. Oh, I'm sorry, clockwise.
I was going to say, so we'll go back to the
You're to that room.
So I keep going, okay.
Cross.
Yeah.
You're on the bike file.
I am on the bike.
So this man decided that she's ready to start.
Hey, someone else is nice.
Oh, that's our room. It's actually. And 3, 2, 1, go. Sometimes I think she just starts to go and then she intentionally stops for something and then just looks at me like, that's right. You don't control me.
No, you don't. Yeah, I know.
My longest running client is a gentleman named Jim Wolfinger. Tim knows him, but most people don't know him. They're not announced. They don't hang out. But I train him every single day. I mean, every year I worked here, 5 years. His file's this thick, right? But every once in a while I'll say, okay, this, and he'll look at me and he'll stop his foot and he goes, no, you're not the boss of me. And it is hilarious because he looks like a 5-year-old and he does it, and then he does it.
Oh, yeah.
We confirmed today we're doing camp fantasies coming up. Oh, really? This thing? Oh, yeah. But I tell everybody here, if you want to do it, I'll do it with you. I won't do it with the group. So we'll do it. I'll do it 20 times this summer if somebody, I'll go every week. I would tell them. I would be more than happy to.
Greg Farley would like to do it.
He owes me, Greg? Yeah. He was supposed to do it with me because I should have did.
Greg Farley.
Yeah. So 2 years ago I told him I'd do it, but then he ended up going with Kevin.
And they didn't make
But they didn't make it. And so I told Greg, and I said, I'll go. And he said, let's wait for next season. Sure, that was his last season, and he didn't do it.
But they were a little
No, I
so they had their grandbaby, yeah.
I've done it the last couple of years with my kids. And it's been,
But your kids are not normal. Your kids are normal. They are.
well, yeah, but you remember the first time I did it with actually Keegan. Keegan bonk. It took us like 2 extra hours to get up there. The kid was walking up like he was drunk. He was so out of it, and I'm like, okay, I will go with you. I think he sugar bombed and the elevation bomb at the same time. You end up at like 10-1. Depending on when you get to camp and where you sit, you can get up to 10-1. You start at just under 6. The sunrise is 6, and I think paradise is just over 5. So it's almost 5,000 feet. And it's only 8 miles. It's short. It's 5 miles up, 5 miles down. So you're doing like 1,000 feet a mile. What I tell you is, as long as you don't have the elevation problem, you can do it. Especially when you get the snow, it's just one foot from the other. It's horrendously, like, going because you can't see the camp. It's over a lift. You can't see it, so you just have to wait. And I tell everybody, every once in a while, stop, turn around, because the view is breathtaking. And if you just stop, turn around and take a moment to appreciate where you are, you can turn back around and I didn't do that. But I'm nuts. I'll run it. And the kids and I will sled. We bring garbage bags and we'll save them. And that's a blast. Sometimes there's, what do you call them? Crevice, thank you. There's crevices that open, but none of them are wider than like 12 inches. So they're scary to step over. Last year there was no crossover on the way up. There may have been at some point, but when we went there wasn't a single crevasse. So. Alright, 5 seconds. Wayne, you must be working hard. You have a lot to say this time. Thanks, Kyle. I'll take that again. Write it down, take a breather.
You can't change this one.
I can't? Whoa.
I didn't, it was there.
Oh, so you saw she has to be there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry, once she gets going, I can pull it up, she can't pull it back down, so.
Oh, yes, I can.
You might be. You won't stop, you're in and around, you keep going.
Doing this stuff, I know.
Once I could, Tim was here that one day.
I'm going to tell you this, you can crank it up. Well, you realize once I taught half of you how to really row, you don't need it cranked up.
Oh, no.
It's people that don't know how to row that usually crank it up because they're not getting their legs going, and so they're trying to get resistance somewhere, feel something as opposed to the huge leg back. Once you have it, I was taught by one of the female tube rowers who worked with me as a trainer, and she, they had to do hours upon hours, and she's like, "Oh, we never take it past the tube, ever." And that girl.
Well, and it was, when we were doing it, it was not, for camping with them, but your speed, you want to be more efficient. It's not the most rough.
Right.
You have to mentally slow it that down. I'm not saying
Less strokes per minute with more power.
Right.
You don't want to be slow, you want to be powerful. You want that huge kick and a slow release, and a huge kick and a slow release.
Yeah.
You know the whoosh? You know the whoosh? I tell everybody they've mastered the rowing machine when they can make it go whoosh. When you do every pull and you hear it.
Falling over.
Yeah, you remember the first time you said it, and you're like, whoosh! All right, guys, 3, 2, 1. So yes, spread the word. If anybody wants to know the mirror this coming summer, I will gladly truck it. Just know I'm going to have my cup of coffee. So. I'll absolutely. I brought special things. Wow. Every time I got up, as tough and as as hard and beautiful as it was, I craved a cup of coffee. So this last time I went up, I took a special thermos with me, and it was the most magical moment to sit up there with the view and sip on a hot cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Captain, we get down the snow section in usually like 35, 40 minutes because of all the saving
Yeah.
and the running. It's so fast to go down that.
And
And that's not for everybody.
Accelerated too. I mean, we accomplished a pretty big goal.
The other thing that I think is huge is being the first person on the mountain in the morning. I'm going early because the later in the day to come slow, the slushier the snow. Then it's slow. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Then when it gets really slushy, then yeah, you're spinning all over the place. We are almost always to the top before 10.
What time do you start?
We like to usually hit the trail about 7 a.m. So we drive there, and we'll start about 7 a.m. And that can change if it's 10:30, 11 it is. Like I said, I never push to get up there. It's just, you just walk it and enjoy yourself on the way up. And if you happen to have a good pace that day, that's really neat. If you don't, I was so touched this last time we went up. There was a gentleman that had some kind of a special need. He had a hip leg problem. You just saw the way he walked. Made it all the way up. There was about 8 of us sitting there. The first time I've ever been up there, people were talking. And the guy was like, I wasn't planning on doing that. I was doing the skyline. And then when I saw it, I just decided to go for it. And he did it. And it was so neat that he did it.
Mount Fuji. They push people in wheelchairs along for rite passage. The Japanese do that and refuse to be there. It's really cool.
Well, this last time up, my youngest asked about actually summiting. Which I would summit, but I was avoiding that because I don't think the cost to benefit was that exciting to me because it's pretty expensive to summit. But now that I have a son that's said it, now I'm going to time.
You started it. Who wants to come to the youngest?
I think I'd be a really small. I'm excited. He cracks me up. He drags his feet and he doesn't seem excited at first, and then you do it. You know, I took him on the first overnight hiking trip with Jim, and he was like, And then I asked him, "Want to do it again?" He's like, "Okay." And I was like, "You want to do it again?" And he's like, "Yeah." Now he's got his own pack and same diamonds. Yes. He's like the tiptoe in the water guy. He's not the jump off the dock guy. And once he's in the water, yeah, he'll flail around all crazy. But Caden will just run off the dock, right? He will be like, "Hold up. What's the temperature? What's the animal life in that water? Have you tested the bacteria?" Yeah, right? He's just like, I don't have a tailwind. I'd like to get maximum jump. Yeah. But yeah, once he's comfortable, he's a beast. And then he ran it around, so that's how I know. And the actual fucking scientists. Whatever college athletes really do. Yeah. Mental.
don't leave it out.
I know you did. I did it before you.
I did last week we started this challenge, Doug. I appreciated the challenge. You had the 2 minute, or the 2 times 2 in the 3 minutes.
How many more rounds do we have? Just this one.
You never have to do that. My mind will have one more cardio. Okay. We'll be on the back. Okay. We'll be on the back. You don't have a minute.
Okay.
Good. Let's do it. It's just a little cardio in the heart. Just imagine you have a really heavy ore right now. Or you're in sludge, not water.
I'm in that water.
Now that it's name is walk, so to speak.
Yeah.
You weren't here yesterday to remind me to turn my workout on. Luckily, Sandy was doing her own. She didn't tell me either, but I saw her. Oh yeah, turned it on.
I thought I forgot to turn it off.
Oh, really? Did you ask you that?
Yeah, I have to take a quick minute.
Mine would be like if you were kind of lethargic for 5 10 minutes. So like, are you done?
Wow.
No, keep going. I don't know. Am I still getting really good calorie burn?
I'm not done.
That's huge annoyance is the hiking one. Are you done with your? No, I'm not done. I just stopped. I'm enjoying the view. Yeah, it doesn't need to be so temperamental on that. By the way, if you just keep walking, like if you stop and it says that, you don't have to touch it. If you just start again, it'll shut that off and keep recording. But my fear is bumping the end workout out accident and actually stopping. No! I really like that the app gives you your elevation gain and distance when you're recording it.
In your steps, or your, it gives you a stride.
Time. Yeah, it'll give you average time per mile. It gives you elevation gain. And it's pure gain. Like if you're using like the All Trails app, every time you go down and back up, it counts new gain. Where the watch tells you, like, no, you just.
When we get girls, I want to total gain. Yeah.
I like burrows. I want to do burrows solo one day.
Did you?
Huh?
Yeah, I that's my favorite.
Yeah, I like burrows. Maybe the sunrise in the summer at all.
Well, because you know what?
This summer. I kept going to either Paradise or on Forest Service trails. I mean, we still got almost 200 miles. That's what I really like. So I use the All Trails app on my phone, but I also use my watch. But the app records your total elevation gain of every hike you do.
So you're going to use the one and actually hiking into the
Yeah, no, you record while you hike, and it'll tell. You can always go back and look at every hike, but then it'll show you what you did for every month, for the year, and then every year. So I can go back to since I logged into All Trails and I had all my mileage, all my elevation, every calorie I burned. It's really, it's a cool track that way for my outdoor drives. All right, guys, we got 20 seconds. This last cardio round. Is it last cardio round? Is it? Core round, not quite. It is our last cardio. I got that look. So I cleared myself for a minute there.
That's a mom look.
Yeah. Go! Little turd Maka got up on the counter and pulled a big cheese down. Ooh. It was hungry. Just the way I get her, now that he's there, she eats even faster. Even if I feed him at the same time, they're both racing. Unless it's her last meal of the night, which is all natural food that I cut up, that's the only meal she'll slow down. But when it's her kibble, She's like a hoover. I don't even hear a single kibble get crunched. It just.
You know somebody like that now.
Yes.
Is it one of you? Is it Rick or Randy? Like, did they pass that test? I don't know.
Mr. Mario.
Pug eats like that all the time.
Well, we have a pretty specific feeding plan for the dogs. We get their exact times and mouths.
And they know when it's time, don't they?
But Maka impresses me. She eats more fruits and vegetables than all of my children. And she gets it every night. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, apples, pears, broccoli, celery, bell peppers, zucchini, cucumber,
All at once?
sweet no, but it's always a mix. Sweet potatoes, rice, potatoes, raw eggs. She's getting chicken, just boiled chicken breast this week. But she hasn't eaten eggs. Her eggs are the favorite thing. It's always the first thing she'll take out of the bowl.
What's the chef that?
Yeah. It's the raw eggs. You have to watch. Sometimes we'll do just egg white, not the yolk. I'm not too concerned as a puppy about her. All of it as she gets older. But it's really good for the coat. Keeps it for. I do want to. Maka's too big, but I want to wear her around my shoulders like a shawl. She's so soft, like a living fur. Come on, Maka, I'll give you a ride. Just be my scarf.
She is soft. You know, the fur look that looks like it should be.
She got a bath, and I love. She can just sit there and I'll scratch her for hours. Okay, guys, 5 seconds. 2, 1. Howdy, ho, 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 ho. Really?
Your arm?
I think you never noticed.
Oh,
Face, Todd, your face. It's starting to bother me a little bit.
Are you feeling it, Wayne?
What?
Are you feeling it? He's just trying to.
Sassy.
I just said to take it easy until you guys can spank me.
Is it? Did it all go? I did say it's on the buggy and that I've given an ulcer. I love how you guys like to manipulate my words.
You're right, man.
Big learn. I already turned my propane tank on this morning. Go get t-shirts up and I'm going to do a change one. She goes, "Hi, I need your help. I actually need some muscle." And I said, "Okay." She goes, "The propane." I thought they were changing a tank out or something. She was trying to turn the tank on. That was already on. So she didn't think she could turn the knob. And I was like, "Well, you can't. It's already all the way over." It's like, okay, I feel a little sheepish. What the heck is that? Well, he's really good stuff, but I think he's pretty much changed his 5 pounds like that. I never know. Well, when I said 5 minutes to start the class, you looked at me like, really? No. And now you're like,
Just like, come on.
yeah.
I could go only 5 minutes.
You want a 2-minute burn or a 1 minute?
There's still only a minute left. We can go for it.
When I close, I'll give you guys we're on our final minute. And this is our last cardio run, so if you feel like giving yourself an extra boost, like there's little gas stuff in the tank, that's fine. If you have an education and there's no gas stuff in the tank, that's also fine. It's just a heads up, do with it as you will. You're all working hard today. So it's going to be 4. But I called people first. Yeah. Catherine and Linda was here. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. No, yeah, it's funny because she jumped on the scale to be class yesterday, but it went out. So she was telling me that you don't think how long it takes. What? But apparently that one didn't go out. Lori took it and said, it got a little wonky at the beginning, and that's fine. The phone has a deplorable cell, but even so, it'll back itself up the cell. With the Wi-Fi, with the iPad, it's just fine. I said the Wi-Fi. Right. I ordered 2 antenna cards. So we'll have 20 or 30 until we. All right, guys, 1 minute left. 1 minute left of awesome. But it wouldn't be equivalent to do. You know, when we get nice weather, I love it. Not the winter, but so many people do it at sunset. But it's so nice. But if the thing takes off and doing stuff online, who's going to do it? Right. Got to figure out where you put the camera. Well, they were working, match finishing up, they do manual one and like another out here. Ha! So, our Wi-Fi signal should be shown. Once he finishes the last line, we're gonna. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you choose. We have 6 minutes left. Do you want to be done? Or would you like another quarter? Guys, there's no wrong answer to your choice. Quarter. Yeah, we'll take a break. It's still your break. We're going to finish our break and then we'll. And that's the great thing. Jim actually shaking his row again. That's fine too. You can use 4 or you can use 3 minutes out on cover if you want. Either fine. You guys have all worked hard. This is more like if you want to, not a guilt thing ever. You can choose, you could stay at 3, you could go. We have time, and if you want it, we'll do it. Empty your tank, that's fine. How bad is that? What's all right because my shoulder is
Especially when you get it right in the center of the patch, too. I heard it really
Oh my gosh, that's killer.
She laughed about it. She goes, oh, that thing I can't do. I'm right in the middle of it.
Okay.
How long ago did you get that tattoo?
Oh, jeez. 30 years, I guess.
Trendsetter.
Trendsetter.
Oh.
And
what did you say?
I'm nothing. I don't have one. Say that.
You
So-
want to say it was mine somewhere?
Rick's the only coot, right?
Rand, our 2 sons are 2 along that.
Oh.
Two parents. We're both one.
Okay, so he's a log. But Randy's a duck.
No,
So
you're not.
3 loggers and 1 duck.
I'm a panther.
Panther. Pitt. Okay.
Wow, hold
You're a Gonzaga?
on.
Gonzaga?
Nightclub.
Oh. That works just fine. I used to be a chief and now a red fox. How are you? I used to be chieftain, so that's not, oh yeah, not PC.
Not appropriate, yeah.
And you're too. And great moms weekends.
Yeah.
The best.
So I don't think, are they still open? Is the Rat House still a place? Spelled German, R-A-T-T-H-A-U-S.
That is one of the food.
Well, but the Rat House on Mom's Weekend did $1 Wells, but I forgot that. And I brought my mom in there with friends and everything, and my mom yells out, "I got a round for everybody!" And then I realized it was like $65. Because it's $1 drink, so the place was jammed. Then I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool, Mom."
That's cute.
That was, my parents didn't really drink when I was growing up. They drank but didn't drink. So it was Dad's weekend in what was the Valhalla Underground.
Yeah.
When I saw my dad pound a beer, and I was absolutely amazed. And he's like, "Son, when he was in the military, he was like, I used to race guys pay for the beers, and I never paid for the beers." I'm looking at my dad like, "Who are you?" Right? It's just like, we're young and older adults now. We're going to learn about each other's lives. One beer at a time.
Maryland always goes to Mom's Weekend. Randy always goes to death. They're really confused.
Like, who are your children and fraternity children? I wasn't either. I was just curious.
My stepson.
Those parents tended to be a little crazy as they're.
They are. They try to be like each other. Fraternity.
Yeah, we went to a fraternity for a
Time.
one of the parties, and it was a bit crazy, but it was kind of cute because all these guys were trying to treat their moms well, and the school really helped.
Right.
But so they're walking around, with box wine, but they skipped the box. They're just carrying a bladder around, and it's filling all the
Talking off
wine.
everybody's stuff. That's
And
cute.
we're like, okay, this works. Yeah.
Where's the bottle of something wine?
You don't have a choice.
Can I see the label, please? You guys sisters?
No, best friends. Molly.
Good job, guys.